good evening. Before this week's edition of the Randomiser, I should like to address the many concerns and complaints raised regarding last week's instalment, in which I, Chris Dale, did foolishly and with malice aforethought step outside the non-existent rules of the Randomiser and reviewed an episode of a non-Anderson series. There is no excusing my actions. In my defense, I may say that I foolishly thought covering an episode of a series produced, written and directed by someone who had worked on multiple Anderson shows, and who then used an episode of his own series to produce a loving tribute to his time working on those Anderson shows, was a good idea. But I see now that I was wrong. Foolishly, heinously, treacherously wrong. Even though nobody complained the last time I covered an episode of a non-Anderson series, but there we are. The damage is done, and I can only hope to learn from this experience and earn your forgiveness. Going forward, I vow that the content I provide for you all, for free every single week, will stick strictly to the rigid and inflexible guidelines that you demand I adhere to. Never again shall I attempt to think outside of the box, nor attempt to widen the scope or potential of this segment by placing Anderson's work within a broader context, nor give over any more time or attention to any of the many talented artists and creatives who worked with him to make his shows. I apologise once again for thinking that an episode of a non-Anderson series, made by former Jerry Anderson staff featuring Anderson actors and Anderson sound effects in which a disaster occurs in an industrial setting resulting in lots of explosions and destruction, could in any way be considered Anderson-related. So, without further ado, we present this week's edition of the Randomiser, which has been thoroughly vetted by the Lords of the Anderson Content Council for any signs of needless deviation or unnecessary frivolity, and which carries my personal guarantee of being 110% free of any non-Anderson content right from the very first second. And now, this week's The Randomiser. Hold it, stop the music, stop everything, stop! Marina, what's going on? Yes, I can see you're dressed as Batgirl, Yvonne Craig lives, but what does that have to do with this week's Randomiser? I mean, if I couldn't get away with munitions without getting my wrist slapped last week, what makes you think you can get away with an episode of Batman? What? What do you mean that's what I told you we were doing? Look, I left you a note, yes, that's it, and it clearly says... That does not say Batman. It does not! Look, B-A-G-M-A-N, see? Bagman. It is a G, that's not a T, look at it. T's don't have curves like that. Well, yeah, okay, my handwriting isn't the greatest, but come on! What's Batman got to do with Anderson, for heaven's sake? Yes, I know Catwoman was in an episode of The Protectors, but... Deep breath. Look, let's just roll Bagman, okay? Oh, holy headache, Batgirl. So, after last week's little detour of a randomizer, which absolutely everybody enjoyed and appreciated, we're back with The Protectors. We're in Copenhagen for, I believe, this is the first episode produced of the second series. And there's a cat. It's of no interest, but our baddie of the week just pointed it out to this young lady that he is escorting from a boat onto a dock, onto the shore, wandering around some other boats. Doctor Who fans, and indeed probably other people in fact, might recognise the young lady that he is escorting and whispering to there. She tried to get away from him there, but he's not having any of that. That caught the attention of a fisherman who looks a lot like Willoughby Goddard. This is Lalla Ward of Doctor Who fame. This is our Romana number 2. Several years before she was Romana, indeed several years before there was even a Romana to play. And he's handcuffed her to his car. And now she's crying because she doesn't like that. That's an effective teaser. And they've driven away. Meanwhile, in a very posh place with some very posh people, we find an actress I'm quite fond of. She was always turning up in ITC shows. Patricia Haynes, formerly married to Michael Caine.
Listen, you are going to give me a great deal of money.
Oh.
You see, I have your daughter, Evie, with me.
Oh.
I want there to be no doubt in your mind about this, Miss
Mrs. Anderson.
So I will let you speak to her. But I warn you.
He's formerly married to Michael Caine, and at the time this was made was married to Bernard Kay, who also later appeared in The Protectors, and he was the Michelin Man mutant in New Adam, New Eve for Space 1999.
I don't know. It's something about Evie.
Everyone around that dining table is very concerned about Patricia Haynes and her daughter.
Are you there, Mrs. Anderson?
Yes, kidnapper has brought her out of the car.
Do what he says, please. Give him anything he wants. Anything. Please don't let him hurt me.
Oh, don't let him hurt Romana.
Please.
Mrs. Anderson, go to your home now. You will
I
find...
can't remember the name of this actor playing the baddie, but I'm sure it will be covered in the opening credits.
Very certain of one thing.
They all look a bit...
If you...
I was going to say generic, the baddies. Some of the baddies in this show, but they all dress the same. It doesn't help sometimes in identifying good actors. And this guy is a good actor. So, we come back from the opening titles into our title, Bagman. Stephen Chase as Christian, okay. Screenplay by Terry Nation. Yes, Christian is now leading Evie through some very dilapidated buildings into a room that she's going to be locked in. That's unfortunately where Lala Ward will spend the rest of the episode with, I think, pretty much no dialogue.
Make the most of it. It's going to be home for a day or two.
Or the next 20 minutes. But what's also interesting about this, I noticed this episode is currently available on YouTube in French, where it was renamed... our villain has stepped in some yellow paint as he walked away from her room there. That's a clue. That's a clue. Yeah, it was renamed from Bagman to Evie, which I suppose fits in with other episodes that were named after a female guest character like Lena and so on. But also I suppose the term Bagman doesn't always make sense in other languages.
Well, you've asked my advice, that's it.
He was very clear about it.
So, the Protectors have now been called in. Otherwise, it would not be a Protectors episode.
Well, I think you're making a mistake.
Then I will accept the responsibility.
And yes, first episode of the second series in production order.
If that's the way you want
I
it.
think it's shown as the second generally, but this would, I suppose, as we have a woman with a lot of money whose daughter has been abducted, this counts as yet another instance of
Arrange to get them
parent Rich Bags McMunnington.
Wait until he rang.
It's been a trope in this series for a while now. We've had several stories of men who are worried about their children, either because they've been kidnapped or they're up to naughty things, and they have a lot of money. They're prepared to pay a lot of money to get everything sorted out. And here we have a female, Mrs. We have Mrs. Rich Bags McMunnington,
Eva.
concerned about her daughter. Oh, Ava, not. Did I call her Evie earlier?
There is a house on the coast road to Elsinore, 10.5 kilometers from your hotel. Do you have the money?
Yes.
I expect you in exactly 30 minutes.
Patricia Haynes has changed into a fairly...
Mr. Rule.
I'm not sure how to describe what she's wearing there. It does look sort of...
Whatever he says.
It looks like a man's fancy dress costume. But going back to Patricia Haynes,
All right.
I really like her. She turned up in all of these ITC shows. As I said, she was married to Michael Caine.
Alive.
But she only lived about 5 years after this episode was made. She died in her mid-40s. I think sort of 77, 78, which is a great shame. Because she's always really good in everything, but I've never seen her in a lead role as such. Anywho, the Protectors have been given the address to bring the money to. It's a dilapidated house, and Harry and the Contessa taking that out there now, having a look around just in case anyone's watching them. It's all a bit quiet, too quiet, if you follow my meaning, because this house, although it looks nice on the outside, it has seen better days on the inside. But it looks like it, with a bit of work, it could be done up a treat, really. Now, where do we leave the case full of money? Maybe upstairs? What's that say on the wall? Ingen adgang fordner. I don't know what that means. If anyone speaks whatever language that is, please translate for me. But I suppose that's the advantage of location filming. You don't have to create a rundown house like this in the studio. If there is one up the road from wherever it is you're filming, just go and film there. As long as there's nobody dossing down in there when you get there. It doesn't matter that there's graffiti about the place. So, someone has arrived. The Contessa has slipped into one room. Harry has slipped into another. And we're watching some mysterious feet. Who could it be? He's got a gun. Oh, it's some kind of uniformed official.
I'm sorry, I thought it was someone else. It's a little joke.
This is private property. What are you doing here?
I think it's marvelous, darling. It'll need a little work,
Oh,
of course,
excuse
but
me, this is my wife.
Oh, the Contessa agreed with me. It is a very nice place. Yes, this uniformed official.
What's in that?
Quite interested in the case of money, though. I like that moment, though, with the Contessa sort of pretending that they were looking around the place for buying it, maybe. Oh, an empty case. Well, not empty. It's got some papers in, but not money papers. And even the Contessa is glancing at Harry as if to say, hang on, that's not part of the plan.
It's not for sale.
What are you doing?
I'll be back this way in half an hour. I don't want to find you here.
Well,
If our man was watching, he's gone by now, so let's go.
so we're just going to head back to the car. Okay.
one guess.
One.
What did he do with the money? Also, why are they not more suspicious about that guy with the gun? I get that he's sort of pretending to be a guard, but... Ah!
You really are a devious man, Harry Rule.
So he hid the money in a concealed compartment in the boot.
Harry?
Oh, but there's a note.
If you screw it up again, that's it. Pavement Table Cafe, Scott, tomorrow morning at 10.
Do you think he'll try to collect the money at this cafe tomorrow morning?
No, I think he's going to keep changing places so fast we can't set a trap.
Written in very nice handwriting on that note.
He'll be running all over Copenhagen.
One thing I was thinking about looking at this, and keeping in mind that this is the first episode of the second series, I do like the fact, I think that
Make you look more like Sherlock Holmes.
there isn't as much of a difference in style and tone between Series 1 and 2 of The Protectors as there is in, say, Series 1 and 2 of, obviously, 1999, and even, to a certain extent, Supercar. You could show these in any random order, and a casual viewer wouldn't necessarily pick up that these come from two different blocks. But
Alongside to help.
I do think that each, the first and second season have their own...
Both involved. Not that it helps.
Well, not strengths and weaknesses, but they have their own distinctive characteristics, let's say, because I kind of like the more upbeat tone of the first series. You know, it's a bit, I mean, frothy was the first word that came to mind there, but comparing that to the second series where there's a lot of downbeat endings and similar. But I think, and if I'm remembering right, this is an episode that's going to be a good example of what I'm about to say. The second series made really good use of location work. I think, obviously, there was a lot of work, location work in the first series as well. Lots of nice stuff on Malta and all that. But there was a sort of genericness to some of the location filming in the first series. It's like, here's a nice field, here's a nice house. Whereas in the second series, there's more... I hope to God this is the episode that I'm thinking of, where we're going to build up to a nice...
You're representing Mrs. Anderson.
...bit of location filming that could only be done in that particular area. I'm not sure I've expressed myself all that well here, but it's like...
I tell you.
The locations, the choice of locations in the second year is often a lot more interesting and utilised quite well.
And Evie would be dead.
Anywho.
Frederiksholm Canal in 15 minutes.
Our Bagman has now issued instructions to the Protectors to move them on to their next port of call. Meanwhile,
Woman with you.
Paul has been asking around at the docks, where we saw Evie and Christian arrive earlier.
Well, what is it?
And wouldn't you know it, Paul showed her photo to a guy who shook his head, and then as Paul walked away,
Never will run you ragged.
the Willoughby Goddard guy walked into shot. Just missed
Your
him.
money and kills you.
I've heard of it happening like that, but why bring it up now?
I also noticed, while the Contessa and Harry have been talking here,
On your own.
in one shot of Harry, a little kid leaned into frame and just pulled a silly face. There we go. He's immortalised forever in The Protectors. So, in case you didn't hear that, the Contessa is going in with the money, alone. That's how Christian wants it. Yes, and Lala Ward is still in the basement, very scared. I also like as well, again, going back to the themes and distinctive, what makes Series 1 and Series 2 stand out from each other is, again, the choice of countries, because Series 1 there's a lot of stuff in Malta and France, and then in Series 2 you get several episodes in Copenhagen, Salzburg, Austria, and Madrid.
Who gave you this?
So again, that's a nice clue. We know this is a second series episode because I don't think they filmed in Copenhagen in the first season. Anywho, the Contessa, with the suitcase of money, has been given a note from a small child. No doubt sending her on her way to... Well, where will she end up? I am just hoping that it's the place I think she might be going. I hope this is the episode I'm thinking of. And Christian's watching her go.
The rule. Tell me. Is my daughter dead already?
No.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
I am quite happy, though, that we're having this conversation out on the veranda with a lovely view of all those boats out on the harbour. Do you notice that? It just looks lovely.
Before that.
Oh. One thing I would say, a slight negative about the second series, and it's present in the first as well, and it may just be the way it was restored, but
Or a red dragonfly class boat.
I think the picture quality is just a bit too pink. Everyone looks slightly sunburnt in the second series, even when they're in like London on a rainy day.
Been told by a motor cruiser yesterday morning.
That could be Avis.
All right, hang on. I'll be right down.
So Paul has now found Willoughby Goddard guy.
All right.
That was close. Meanwhile, the Contessa's taxi. Yes, this is what I meant about the locations. They've arrived at, well, I'm not sure how to describe it.
Tell them to call this number and give the message.
It looks like, well, it's just a lot of concrete pipes. Concrete pipes as far as the eye can see. About, 2.5 times the height of a average man, I suppose. So we get these lovely shots as the Contessa's walking through the pipes, with the camera tracking along with her, and just
All right.
yes, she just looks very alone and very surrounded by huge pipes. And of course Christian is now calling out to her, and she can't see him, but he can see her. He makes her open the case to ensure that it is full of money this time.
Now, close it.
Yeah, this is what I mean when I say I think the second series uses its location far more interestingly than the first.
You go. Leave that back.
Again, I suppose a lot of it is just pure luck, pure chance.
Where's Debbie?
That they just stumbled across this place that looks really visually interesting.
What guarantee do I get?
Just tunnels stretching off into infinity, all these little bits of pipe.
You're in no position to bargain. Now get out.
Well,
I'll be watching you.
Don't let anything happen to Evie.
you're a bad man if you do. Yes, she's had to leave her handbag as well. Oh, here comes a police car. Oh, wouldn't you know it?
I hope you brought the money.
It's our friend who wanted the money earlier. I thought earlier when he turned up, and I didn't mention it then, but I thought he had a voice like Eatstar. And now he has proven me right.
So, Harry is chatting up all the sailors now, getting more information on Evie's boat.
Oh,
Stop chatting to those sailormen and get over here. Oh no, the sailormen are coming with. Oh dear.
airline says she's down here somewhere in the pipe works.
Well, that must be it over there.
Oh yeah, all those pipes. I can see how we missed that. They're just on the other side of the harbour. Oh dear, okay. Oh, Christian's now dressed very dapperly.
What do we do with her?
All in white, long hair, and... he's killed his police chum. Oh no. Oh, that was a nice forward roll from the Contessa there. I doubt Nairi Dawn Porter did that herself, but if she didn't, it was a very close double for her. That's it. Harry and Paul are driving around there, and wouldn't you know it, all their sailor friends are ambling along beside them, go, yeah, we're going to help. We're going to sort this out. But this is cool stuff as well, because Christian has now come into the pipeworks to kill the Contessa. But which pipe is she in? And more importantly, from her perspective, what pipe is he in? Yeah, Christian is hopping around on top of all of these pipes. Oh, she's down there. This would look really good on Blu-ray, actually. It's just such a visually striking image. Lots of places where one or other of them can be suddenly out in the open, but then there's dozens of other places where they can hide from each other. So now Harry and Paul are here.
There's not a sign of him.
Oh, Paul is running around on top of the pipes, very exposed. Harry is choosing to go through the pipes. I'm making it sound like a Mario game here.
You've been on it too.
Yeah, they're examining the body of the policeman. Was he an actual policeman? I guess he would have to be. Contessa's picked up her handbag. Oh, all of the sailors have come to help. What's that you said? What did I talk over?
Is there any money in this?
You know something?
Oh.
I might. What it is worth.
Tell me what you know. A girl is going to die.
Then it must be worth plenty.
Just tell me what you know. You can name your price.
Oh, come on, sailor man. I had faith in you earlier. You and all your sailor
There's
friends.
a boat in the harbour.
Show me.
Oh, okay. So the yellow paint that Christian stepped in earlier, the sailor man has noticed. Yes.
She's gone.
That the policeman, the dead guy, if he was a real policeman or not,
Do I still get my money?
also has yellow paint all over his
I
shoes.
think I know where that paint could have come from. I've seen it before.
Where?
There's drums of it. All rusty, leaking all over the place. It's been abandoned for years.
Where?
Clements Island, the old fort.
It's Island, okay.
Go back to every month.
All right.
Let's get a boat.
I smell a fourth protector being added to the ranks here. I think if they hadn't had random chubby sailor guy along to help with them with this, I think they would have been in serious trouble this week. Bit of a coincidence that this guy just happens to know about the yellow paint, and Christian and his accomplice just happen to keep stepping in it every time they go and see Evie. Anyway, Christian is now trying to get to Evie, presumably to kill her, or if not kill her, to at least move her. She has set up a trap, because she had nothing better to do with her time, poor old Lalla Ward. She's,
I said, open this door.
well, an old bookcase or shelf and a large wooden beam to sort of block the door, keep him from getting in.
Listen, I've come to take you home. Your mother, she's very concerned, you know. She's paid them.
Can't think why.
Everything's all right.
Oh, yeah.
Evie, you've got to come out sometime, you know.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because he didn't get the money, I don't think.
Please.
It's all gone wrong from his point of view. I kind of waffled all over that. I was too enthralled by all the pipes. Don't do it, Evie. Don't do it. It's a trap.
Stupid idiot!
Oh, she nearly did it then. And then he called her names. And now he's added another attachment to his gun. Oh, here come Harry and Paul. They're going to sort it all out. Well, I suspect probably Harry on his own. Paul has been sent off in the other direction. Again, more nice use of a dilapidated, rundown location here. This shot of Harry walking towards the camera from like a mile away, and the camera just pans over. Oh, there's Christian. In his white suit, beret, and holding a gun. So, Harry has found... Oh, there's Paul. Don't shoot Paul. So Paul is assigned to rescue Evie. Harry is going up the stairs. And again, this is a nice... this episode is full of really nice locations. I hate to keep going on about it, but we have this lovely dilapidated section of wall on the side of a building here, and this gorgeous, what looks like a lighthouse right next to it. It all just looks lovely. Whoa! Oh. Well, Christian was hiding behind a door. Leapt out at Harry. Harry shot Christian. And oddly, Christian, when he gets shot, he just looks more disappointed than hit. So, as Paul leads Evie away, he's rescued her. Taking her back to the boat. where she's reunited with everyone's new Protector's character favourite, Sailor Man Who Wanted Money. Well, there we go. That was Bagman, and that was another thoroughly, I would say, it's not a standout episode of The Protectors, but it is, as a lot of them are, it's slick and confident and well produced, and as I think I said there, the hallmark of the second series, some beautiful use of locations. How about we have the end credits again, but in French? Here you go.